Alright, and here on our news it says why Senator Lummis's latest Clarity Act remarks favor XRP. So the question is, what if Washington is quietly building a global financial superhighway built for XRP? So picture this. America is standing at a historic fork in the road. In one direction, it clings to an outdated, slow-moving paper and ink legacy banking system. In the other direction, it builds a lightning-fast digital economic superhighway capable of moving trillions of dollars across borders in the blink of an eye. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. This is the exact choice being laid out in Washington right now, this year of 2026. Now, for years we have seen politicians treat cryptocurrency like a minor nuisance or a passing hobby. They pass small incremental rules that do nothing but confuse the market. But a massive shift just occurred on X. A popular crypto commentator X Finance Bull right here highlighted recent remarks from US Senator Cynthia Lummis regarding the highly anticipated Clarity Act. The way she is presenting this bill isn't just different, it is completely shattering the traditional political playbook. So if you are holding XRP, you need to look past the daily price noise and understand the gravity of what is happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about a routine update to compliance laws. This is about national survival in the global digital economy, and XRP happens to be the asset that has been perfectly engineered for this exact moment for over a decade. So, why is Senator Lummis abandoning the traditional Washington playbook? When politicians want to pass a law, they usually try to make it sound as small and boring as possible. They do this to avoid argument, slip it past their opponents, and secure an easy win. But as ex-Finance Bull pointed out, Senator Lummis is doing the exact opposite with the Clarity Act. Instead of shrinking the bill's scope, she is framing it as monumental, legacy-defining decision for the future of the United States. Now here's my opinion. This tells me everything I need to know about the confidence level behind this legislation. When a senator stakes her entire legislative legacy on a bill, she isn't just looking for a quick headline. She is drawing a line in the sand. So my view is that the lawmakers backing this bill aren't guessing anymore. They know. They have the momentum, and they are preparing for a massive structural overhaul of how digital assets are governed in America. This aggressive messaging signals that the days of slow, agonizing regulatory stagnation are coming to an end. Instead of trying to compromise with outdated agencies, the sponsors of the Clarity Act are pushing a grand vision. They are forcing the rest of the government to make a choice. Either let America lead the next generation of financial technology, or watch the rest of the world leave us in the dust. Now, could the Clarity Act be a choice between American leadership and financial ruin? The narrative surrounding the Clarity Act has officially evolved. Senator Lummis is explicitly warning that if this framework isn't established, other countries will dominate the future of global liquidity. She is positioning this bill as the ultimate blueprint for America's modern financial infrastructure. Now, here's my opinion. This change in rhetoric is a massive victory for the entire asset class, but specifically for utility tokens. For years, I have observed that the biggest hurdle for institutional adoption wasn't the technology, It was the fear of political flip-flopping. By framing this as a national security and economic leadership issue, it forces big institutions to stop viewing digital assets as a speculative gamble and start viewing them as essential sovereign infrastructure. Now think of it like the transition from gravel roads to the interstate highway system in the 1950s. The government didn't build the highways just for fun. They built them because the economy couldn't grow without them. The Clarity Act is the digital version of that interstate highway system, and it is being built to handle massive institutional volume. Now, why does an economic superhighway intently favor XRP? This is where everything ties back to the asset we track so closely. Ex-finance bull made a brilliant connection between this new legislative push and XRP's native design. XRP wasn't created yesterday to ride a wave of social media hype. It was built more than 10 years ago in the United States with one clear, undeniable purpose. And that's seamless, low cost, and institutional cross-border settlement. Now, here's my opinion. My perspective on this is very clear. You cannot build a high-speed railway and then expect a steam engine to run on it. You need a bullet train. If the United States government creates a brand new, highly regulated environment specifically designed to support digital settlement networks, the projects that already possess the mature technology, the deep liquidity, and the decade-long track record will naturally be the first to be integrated. XRP doesn't need to reinvent itself for this new law. It was built for it. While other meme coins and speculative projects are trying to figure out what their actual use case is, XRP has been sitting patiently waiting for the legal architecture to catch up to its capabilities. If the Clarity Act successfully builds the regulatory framework, the asset with the most established institutional relationships is going to experience a massive influx of real-world utility. Now, what happens when the lead sponsor refuses to back down? According to the analysis shared by ex-finance bull, the fact that elected officials are promoting the Clarity Act as a historically significant piece of legislation means they are highly unlikely to abandon it during political negotiations. They are fully committed to its passage. Now, here's my opinion. This commitment is the secret ingredient that most retail traders completely miss. I believe that political will is just as important as market sentiment. When the lead sponsors treat a bill like their crowning achievement, they fight for every single clause. For us, looking at the market from the outside, this gives us an incredible layer of predictability. We know the pressure on opposing lawmakers is mounting and the momentum is heavily favoring a breakthrough. This isn't a bill that will get swept under the rug or forgotten during the next recess. The public positioning forces a vote, and a public vote forces politicians to explain why they would vote against American financial innovation. This strategic pressure is exactly what is needed to clear the path for widespread corporate adoption. And finally, here's our overall conclusion. When we step back and look at the big picture of this year 2026, the pieces of the puzzle are coming together beautifully. The remarks from Senator Lummis, as highlighted by ex-finance bull on X, prove that Clarity Act is being treated as a historic turning point for the United States. By presenting this legislation as a vital national initiative rather than a minor rule change, supporters are ensuring its long-term viability. For XRP, a token designed from day one to serve as the bedrock for global financial settlement, this incoming regulatory clarity is the ultimate green light. It bridges the gap between the revolutionary technology and institutional trust. The superhighway is actively being laid down. The sponsors are fully committed, and the infrastructure is being prepared for a brand new financial era. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one, or you might just as well check this next recommended video right here.